It was supposed to be a routine patrol flight, clear skies, calm winds, nothing unusual, but at 11:47 a.m., veteran pilot Captain Mark Jensen saw something that made his heart skip a beat. Mayday! Mayday! This is Captain Jensen. Coordinates unknown. Requesting. The radio cut to static. The single-engine plane skimmed low over a storm-torn ocean when Captain Jensen saw it. A giant SOS carved deep into the sand of a remote island, and no movement. No wreckage. Just silence. Someone's down there, he whispered, throttling lower as his K9 partner, Rex, barked wildly beside him. The signal vanished. The compass spun. Everything told him to turn back, but something about that message felt personal. Minutes later, his plane touched the shore. Rex growled, staring into the jungle. What neither he nor Rex knew was that this wasn't a cry for help. It was a trap. And before Mark could step out, a faint voice crackled through his dead radio. You finally came back. Before we start, make sure to hit like, share, and subscribe. And really, I'm curious, where are you watching from? Drop your country name in the comments. I love seeing how far our stories travel. The ocean stretched endlessly beneath the wings of a small single-engine plane. Inside, Captain Mark Jensen, a grizzled veteran pilot with a quiet gaze, adjusted his headset. It was supposed to be a routine surveillance flight. Blue skies, calm air, nothing out of the ordinary. Beside him sat Rex, his loyal German Shepherd K9 partner. The dog's ears twitched as he watched the clouds drift by, always alert. Almost done, buddy, Mark said with a tired smile. Just one more pass. But then, Rex began to growl, low, uneasy. Mark frowned, checking the instruments. Everything looked fine, until his eyes caught something below that on a stretch of white sand, half hidden by palm shadows, were three massive letters carved deep into the shore. SOS. Mark's breath caught. He circled back, lowering altitude. No people, no fire, no movement, just silence. That he grabbed his radio. Control, this is Delta 49, possible distress signal. Coordinates, static. The line went dead. Mark tapped the receiver. Nothing. The signal was gone. That he looked at Rex, whose fur was bristled now. Eyes locked on the island. Someone's down there, Mark murmured, against his better judgment. He began his descent. As the wheels touched the sand, Rex barked sharply, not in fear, but in warning. The propeller slowed to a hum as Mark cut the engine. The only sound left was the whisper of waves brushing against the sand. He stepped out of the plane, boots sinking into the soft beach, while Rex jumped down beside him, nose twitching at the heavy scent of salt and decay. The island was eerily beautiful, palm trees swaying in the wind, the ocean glimmering around them, yet something felt wrong. No footprints near the SOS, no signs of wreckage, no sound of life. Just silence so thick it pressed against their ears. Hello? Mark called out, voice echoing across the shore. Is anyone here? No reply. Only the wind. Rex began to bark suddenly, staring into the dense jungle. His tail was stiff, hackles raised. Mark gripped his flashlight and followed the dog's gaze. What is it, boy? Something moved between the trees. Fast, silent. Mark's pulse quickened. He scanned the tree line, but whatever it was had vanished. When he turned back toward the SOS, his stomach dropped. The sand was uneven, like something, or someone, had dug from underneath. He crouched down and pressed his ear to the ground. A faint metallic clang echoed below. Rex growled deeply. Mark whispered, "There's something under us." And far off in the jungle, something whispered back. Mark's heart pounded as he and Rex began to dig. The sand was dense, heavy, like it hadn't been touched in decades. After several minutes, his shovel struck something solid. Clang. Metal teeth brushed away more sand until a rusted hatch appeared, half buried beneath the giant SOS letters. What the hell is this doing here? He muttered. Rex whined, pawing at the hatch. Mark gripped the handle and pulled hard. It creaked open with a scream of rust, releasing a gust of stale, suffocating air. The darkness below felt endless. He flicked on his flashlight and peered inside. A narrow ladder descending into shadows. Stay close, boy, he whispered, climbing down. The beam of light cut through thick dust and cobwebs. Along the corridor walls were old military signs, faded and cracked. Property of U.S. Air Command. Operation Echo. Mark froze. That was the same top-secret project he'd heard rumors about during his Air Force years. One that had been erased from all records that as they moved deeper, Rex growled toward a side passage. Mark followed the sound until his flashlight caught something. A body, slumped against the wall, still in uniform, but beside it, muddy footprints, fresh. Mark swallowed hard. "Someone's still here," he whispered. And then, through his radio, a faint voice crackled to life. "You shouldn't have come." Mark's breath quickened as the voice echoed through his radio. "You shouldn't have come." He spun around, flashlight shaking, but no one was there. The air had turned colder. Suddenly, a low hum vibrated through the metal floor. Then, click, the hatch above slammed shut with a deafening clang. Rex barked furiously, his growls bouncing off the steel walls. Mark ran to the ladder and tried the hatch, locked tight. "Damn it," he shouted. The bunker lights flickered to life, one by one, bathing the corridor in a sickly yellow glow. Then came the hiss, gas seeping from the vents. Mark covered his face with a cloth, coughing, dragging Rex down another hallway. They stumbled into a control room filled with monitors still running. Static danced across the screens, until one flickered clear on it was a man's face, stern, familiar. Mark's blood ran cold. It was Colonel Harris, his commanding officer from years ago, a man who'd been declared dead in the same operation. "If you're hearing this," the recording said, "you found Echo Base. Leave now. Don't open the containment chamber." Mark turned slowly toward a large steel door behind him. Painted across it in red letters were the words, "SOS, stay out. Survive." The bunker shook violently, alarms blaring, dust raining from the ceiling. Mark grabbed Rex's collar. "We're getting out of here," he shouted. They sprinted through the corridor, the sound of metal groaning behind them. The air reeked of chemicals and smoke. Every exit they passed was sealed, until Rex turned sharply, barking at a narrow ventilation shaft. "Good boy," Mark said, prying it open. "Go." Rex squeezed through first, claws scraping against the steel. Mark followed, gasping as a muffled explosion roared through the bunker. Heat surged up the tunnel. They crawled toward the faint shimmer of daylight, until, finally, they tumbled out into the jungle. Mark coughed, looking back. The ground beneath the SOS collapsed, swallowing half the beach. Out of the smoke stumbled 3 figures, wearing torn military uniforms, eyes wild with exhaustion. One woman collapsed at his feet, whispering, "We made the S.O.S. to keep others away." Mark frowned. "Why? What's in there?" She pointed to the shoreline, to a sealed black crate half buried in sand. Rex barked, growling at it. "It's not a rescue," the woman croaked. "It's containment." As the wind howled and the sea rose around them, Mark realized this wasn't just a secret, it was a warning that came too late. As flames rose behind him, Mark loaded the black crate onto his plane. The island burned like a dying star, sending smoke spiraling into the clouds. The SOS letters on the beach slowly vanished beneath rising tides, as if the island itself wanted to disappear. Rex whimpered softly, refusing to take his eyes off the sea. "It's over," Mark whispered, though deep down he wasn't sure he believed it. Hours later, they landed at Air Command Base, greeted by stunned officials. Mark handed over the crate to federal agents. "It's from Operation Echo," he said. "Whatever's in there nearly killed us all." One agent nodded grimly. They pried the crate open, only to find it empty. Inside lay a single metal tag, stamped with the words, "Property of Captain M. Jensen." Mark froze. His blood ran cold. The radio on his cockpit suddenly crackled to life, the same voice from the bunker whispering, "You finally remembered." Rex barked sharply, pacing in circles. Mark looked out the window. Through the fog below, faint letters appeared carved in the sand once again, but this time, not S.O.S. It read only one chilling word: "Run."